If you're a fan of caramel, this is going to be your ultimate fantasy. It's sweet, it's rich, it's absolutely decadent, and trust me, anyone can make this. Let's make some caramel tarts on the One Pot Chef. Let's start by making our pastry. First things first, into the food processor, I'm going to put it in 1.5 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of castor sugar or superfine white sugar, and 125 grams of butter that's chilled and chopped into little cubes. And we're just going to blitz this together until it all looks a bit like fine breadcrumbs. Next we're adding in 1 egg yolk and 1 tablespoon of chilled water. Now I'm just putting in 1 tablespoon now, and we're going to mix this up, and if it's still a little dry we can add a little bit more chilled water to it. That's looking good. You can see that's sort of sticking together nicely, so we can take that out and we'll start kneading this pastry. I've turned our pastry out onto a lightly floured surface, and we're just going to knead the pastry just for a couple of minutes until it's nice and smooth and slightly elastic. I've formed the pastry into a sort of a disc shape, and I'm just going to wrap this in some clear plastic kitchen wrap and put it into the fridge for about 30 minutes to chill. I'm going to roll the pastry out between 2 sheets of non-stick baking paper until it's probably about 1/2 centimetre or about 1/4 inch thick. I've got some fluted tart tins here, and the bases come out to make it easier for you to remove the tarts when they're done. Now all we're going to do is we're going to place the tart tin down, and we're just going to cut around the edge just so it's slightly larger than the tin. And just place the pastry over each of our tart tins and just press it in. Cut any excess pastry off the edges. I put some non-stick baking paper into each of our tarts, and we're going to blind bake the pastry. So we're going to put some pie weights into each of them, like so. Basically we're just going to partially cook the pastry so it's lightly golden before we put our caramel filling in. If you don't have these ceramic pie weights, don't panic, you can just use some uncooked rice, it'll work just as well. I've placed them onto an oven tray, and these are ready to go into the oven. Preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the edges of the pastry are lightly golden. Then you can remove the paper and the pie weights, put them back into the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes, or until they're golden all over. They're looking golden and gorgeous, so we're just going to set these aside to cool while we work on our caramel filling. To make our caramel filling, into a small saucepan, I'm adding in 3/4 cup of castor sugar or superfine white sugar. And over a medium to high heat, we're just going to allow our sugar to melt in the saucepan for about 5 to 6 minutes, or until it starts to go nice and golden. Don't stir it, don't do anything, just let it sit there and melt. And of course, when working with heated sugar, please be very careful because it can burn you very badly. So don't splash it about or do anything silly, just be careful. Sugar is melted and it's gone to this lovely golden syrup. To that we're going to add in 2/3 cup of cream. I'm just using some whipping cream today. I'm going to turn the temperature down to low, and we're just going to cook this stirring for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's nice and thick and creamy. While you're stirring it, you might notice you've got a bit of a lumpy bit of toffee in there like that. Don't panic, just keep stirring until it dissolves. That's looking absolutely gorgeous. Right, take this off the heat immediately. I transfer this to the other side of the stove where it's cool, and I'm adding in 100 grams of butter. And we're just going to stir this until the butter is melted into it. So we are just going to allow this to cool for a few minutes, and then we can start filling our tarts. Gently pour the cooled caramel mixture into each of the tarts. And our caramel tarts are ready to go into the fridge to chill for at least 6 hours, or until the caramel filling has set. And here is one of our completed caramel tarts. It is rich and sweet and decadent and dark. I cannot wait to have a taste. Gorgeous, gorgeous little tart. Now I should probably eat this with a knife and fork, but I'm just going to have to take a quick bite. Mmm. Mmm. This is insanely caramel. I love it. It's rich and creamy and smooth, slightly flowing, and that pastry is absolutely gorgeous. Trust me, you are going to love this. Serve it with some fresh fruit, whipped cream, ice cream, whatever you like. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Check out other videos at OnePotChefShow.com. And until next time, see you later. I want some more of that smooth flowing caramel. I think you and I need to be alone.